Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Animal Wisdom Tarot by Don Brunk. I think it's Brunk. Illustrated by Ola Leola. There's a website for them, cicobooks.com. So if you're interested in that, there that is. Supportive Oracle cards. You Are Clairvoyant Oracle cards by Belinda Grace, illustrations by Elaine Marzin. There's a website for them too, if I can get it on camera. rockpoolpublishing.com.au is an apple, use an umbrella. So if you would enjoy that information, go ahead, freeze frame where you need to, and enjoy as necessary. Enjoy as necessary. Sounds very technical. Enjoy as necessary. Okay. What do we have for Capricorn? Things, all of a sudden I'm getting like this little bit of a militant feel. Which, not for nothing, when you need to get something done, you get it done. So I know that for Capricorn. Like, if you've got to do it, then get out of my way. I'm going to be doing it. I feel that energy with y'all. With y'all. Okay. Is this about communication? There's energy, like, okay, there's something popping in. Do we like it? Do we not like it? Do we like it? Do we not like it? There's Earth here. Earth is good for you. You're an Earth sign, right? But there's fire, Earth. Okay, I'm just going to pick up two cards. Like, immediately, I do get, like, a point of contention. And there's kind of like this, oh, I don't know if I like this energy. Yeah, you got the Three of Pentacles, and you got the King. Is that the King? The Guardian of Fossils. I like this because the Guardian can be any gender, so it doesn't have to be the King, but typically I think that's what it talks about. So it doesn't have to be any gender. Just it's saying this is something where I got to work towards something to get control of something, but I think this is more about I got to look at what's coming at me honestly. I'm not going to like it at first. But when I start picking apart the pieces that, like, okay, this is what's happening, to make this easier on me, I just got to, like, start pulling out the facts. I got to pull out the facts and placing them aside. And, like, as I keep pulling out the facts and placing them aside, I'm going to see where this needs to go. I feel like you're going to see where this needs to go. I'm not really sure you're going to really be warm and fuzzy about it. But it's kind of like, all right, when this starts happening, because something's coming in. The whale, I feel like this is the, I think that's the world. I could be wrong. But, like, this emotional change, especially in this deck with the water, it feels like that. But it's kind of like communication coming in, big changes happening. I don't know if I'm a fan of it right off the bat, but I feel like if I start going right into it, kind of like, all right, let me look at the facts. This is going to change. Okay, let me see this. Yep, that's going to happen. All right, let me look at the, yep, that's going to happen. And the more I put it to the side, like, all right, and I'm just sifting through it, like, what are the facts? I need to see the facts, and I need to add up my facts. And then I see, like, all right, yeah, all right. It doesn't, because I get to this point where I'm like, well, there's liking stuff and not liking stuff, and then there's just something that's going to happen. It's kind of like tomorrow the sun will rise. Like, okay, whether I like it or not, that's going to happen. All right, summer will not last forever. The seasons will change. Okay, that's a fact. Yep, I know that. We put that here. All right. It's kind of like stuff like that. You know, I'm just kind of like pulling out the fact. Okay, yeah, that's a fact. Yep, that's a fact. I'm working with it. You got to do it on your terms in the sense of like, I just got to pick through it and look through it. It does seem like this is kind of coming in. The Guardian of Branches is like there is a drive behind it. Somebody is trying to push it forward quicker. Somebody's like, listen, we're changing. Let's just get through it. Let's just change it. It's kind of like, let's just do it. Somebody has this attitude of like, come on, let's just finish it off. It's changing. Obviously, it's changing. Let's just get to the other side. And somebody's kind of trying to push forward, trying to make the change happen fast. I don't know if you're going to be the fan of that either. Kind of like, hold on. I feel like your energy is like, hold on. Let me see what's happening here. I don't make reckless decisions, so give me a minute to absorb this. And I feel like there is this conflict. I do feel like there's a lot of earth energy supporting you here, in the sense of like, whoever's trying to push it forward quickly, I feel like you can fairly easily slow it up. Kind of like, let me see what, I need to see the facts. I need to absorb. I need to think it through. I don't do these reckless decisions. And I feel like somebody else is pushing back. It's not reckless. It just needs to be done. Let me see what's going on. Let me just figure it out. The element of earth is, I feel the element of earth with elephant. I'm not saying that that's right, because it says bearer of justice, which makes me think this is more of an air card, but I think earth when I think elephant. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm just feeling like, all right, something's moving forward. The communication is coming through very strongly. But I also feel like you're kind of like, well, give me this. Tell me about that. You seem to have control in the sense of like, I need this information. I need that information. Tell me of this. Tell me of that. And you are stabilizing this. The questions you're asking are questions that need to be asked, in the sense of like the person trying to just like, all right, we have to change it. Let's just change it. There's certain elements they need to ask. There's certain things they need to be aware of, because while yes, the change will happen, we can plan a little better. We can be ready for the next phase a little better than we are. And if we kind of take our time just a little bit more, it's kind of like, all right, yeah, we have to get in the car. We have to move. We have to go. Yes, but since we're going to go, like you're asking, like, how long is it going to take us? What are we going to do for food? Where are we going to sleep? Like, are we sleeping here? Are we sleeping at the new place? You're asking the good questions, kind of like, well, if we're going to sleep at the new place, we're going to need to take the stuff to do that. If we're also going to be sleeping there, we're obviously going to be getting up there. We need to bring the stuff to eat in the morning that we want to have there. It doesn't have to be grand, but we need something there. You're asking the important questions. I feel like these things could be oversight. Kind of like, all right, well, I said we were going to sleep here tonight. But if they don't ask these questions, or nobody asks these questions, kind of like, well, we don't really have the supplies to sleep here, so what do? Go back, or do we buy other supplies? What do we do? Kind of like, well, if we thought of that ahead of time, we wouldn't have ended up in this conundrum. Again, you're asking questions like, all right, where are we going to sleep? We're going to sleep there. Oh, since we're going to sleep there, what are we bringing with us so we can do that? Since we're also going to sleep there, we're bringing the stuff so we can sleep there. What are we going to have in the morning to eat when we get up? It doesn't have to be grand, but we need to have something. You're asking the important questions that I feel like they're just trying to push through. They're just like, I just want to get through it. Since we have to move, I just want to get through it. I just want to go. I just want to take care of it and move past it. And you're like, yes, I understand that. Okay, we do need to move it. We do need to change. But we need to think about some of these other things. It's the threshold. It's hard to get through this without these questions being asked. You are asking questions that are very important. And I feel like this energy, it's almost like, it's kind of a nervous energy, like I just want to get through it, I just want to get it done. I just want to get through it, I just want to get it done. And I feel like I'm not thinking things through as much as I should be. The more you make them think, the better this is. This card comes in because you're influencing, like, we need to think about this a little more. We need to stabilize this a little more. Because I almost feel like somebody's arguing with you maybe. You know, the day's going to end, and at the end of the day, we have to be there. And you're like, I understand that, but we don't have to run there. Let's take a minute. We have a good hour and a half to really think it through. What's gonna happen? We don't need to just jump in the car and get there. We need to sit down for a second, think about what's happening, think about why it's happening, and what we need to do with it. You are slowing them up a bit, but not in a bad way, in a very positive way. Just in case it comes off weird, this energy is very good, but it needs to slow down. It just doesn't like what's happening. See, I don't know if you're really liking what's happening, but whoever you're dealing with, I don't think they like it either. I don't think they like it either, and I think that's the issue. That's why they're trying to push it through. Like, let's just get through it. Let's just get it done. Let's just move on. And it's kind of like, yeah, I understand that, but we still need to think this out. It's not a bad energy. I don't think it's a bad energy, so I hope it's not coming across like that way. I just feel like I just want to take care of it. I just want to move on from it. That's the energy I feel like I'm coming into. This energy actually does seem to be more compatible with you. The fact that the Tower card is here is kind of like, is face down, kind of like, this can be, like, we got to be careful. For the person watching this reading, whether you're Capricorn or something else, wherever side of the fence you're on, I feel like it's saying you're the person that has the ability to bring this energy level down. It's hard. This is hard, but it's kind of like keeping our feet on the ground and not getting swept up in the negativity is going to be a challenge. No matter who you are, it's going to be a challenge. if you're able to keep your feet on the ground, it's the other person, I feel, whoever else you're dealing with is going to have a harder time of it. I just keep feeling that. If you can keep your feet on the ground, kind of like, all right, let's bring it back down to sanity. Okay, let's bring it back down to sanity. Because I feel like there's an energy where somebody's getting really frazzled and really upset. If we play into that, which is hard not to, because it's kind of like somebody gets upset, it's hard not to get pulled into the current. It's going to feel like we're trapped. It's going to feel like we're stuck. And it's kind of like, oh my God, this is horrible. What are we going to do? Makes the situation a lot harder. It feels like the negativity can be overwhelming. But if we can keep our feet on the ground, if we can keep, like, when somebody gets upset and even though you agree with them, if you kind of get lost in that energy, like, yeah, this does suck. Yeah, this is bad. It can make the situation much worse and harder to kind of stabilize. But it's kind of like when you hear somebody else, especially a friend or relative you really care about, they're getting really upset. And even though you do agree with them, it can be very hard. But if you're able to kind of like, all right, yes, I understand, I agree, it's difficult, but let's keep our feet on the ground. Let's handle it now. Let's deal with it now. Let's get through it now. If we can keep our feet on the ground and just kind of like keep dealing with the facts, and especially in the beginning of this reading, we were talking about pulling out the facts. Stay in that energy. Keep pulling out the facts, and keeping it on like what we can do. When it's all said and done, there will be a time to look back and audit the situation. But I feel like it's best if we can regulate that to the end. We just keep pulling out the facts, dealing with the facts. This is what we can do now. This is what we can do now. And we keep coming back to this is what we can do now. When all is said and done, we can look back at it. We can learn from it. We can be like, okay, there was possibilities here. You're not going to catch them all. I just don't feel like it's going to happen. But, if we can keep it together, it's hard. It's hard. I feel like this is really hard. No matter who you are, I feel like it's very hard. The more you're able to do that, the more this kind of goes through in a better way. Again, whatever side of the fence you're on, I do feel like this is definitely more a Capricorn connection. But whoever you are, if you're able to keep some of this to yourself and make the choices yourself, it does go better. I feel like you're going to know. Okay. There's going to be like things go, like I feel things breaking or things not going right and things like, oh, that was supposed to work and that failed. I feel like you might have to keep this to yourself. Kind of like, okay, wait a minute. I know what's going on. I'm working with these other people. That flat out failed. If I bring this to the group, everybody's going to go get in an uproar and we're going to over-center on that. They're going to go ape crap about what went wrong. We don't have the time to waste on that. We will have to deal with it later, though. And I feel like I'm jumping ahead in the sense of like, okay, wait. Now, not a good time to hash that out. Later, we will have to talk about it. So it's kind of like, all right, wait, what do I do? Can I clean this up, make a decision to move forward, and then legitimately bring it up later, because it will come around later? And how do I do that to where, we can attain success or a better, I just feel like they're advising, like, you're going to see things break, you're going to see things fail. It's going to be better for you just to make a decision, fix it, hold it to the side, and then just talk about it later, what went wrong. If we bring forth what failed to the group or whoever else, I just feel like we start losing our minds and we just start going, oh my God, how could that happen? That was not supposed to happen. Now this is going to be off. Now that's going to be off. Blah, 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 blah. I feel like you're in a spot where you can like make a, like, okay, that failed, but I can do this. We'll get through it this way. I'll just kind of like, when somebody says, wait, that's not how that was going to go. Oh, that's the decision I made. And just keep moving forward and just deal with it in retrospect. Kind of like, okay, well, now that we're all done with this and the situation's over, this is what actually happened at that moment. This is why I made that decision. I just wanted to get us through it. And I feel like it'll work out better that way. Because I'm getting like the cat here, which is kind of like there's certain things you just don't want to talk about. You just need to make the choice and keep moving. I don't know how that sounds, because I feel like it does. I can understand how that would sound manipulative, but I also feel like, if we sit down and over talk things, like, I feel like it's better if you just make the decision. I feel like, especially when I'm feeling Capricorn energy, like, all right, That's the goal. The bridge is out. Okay, crap. Hold on. We can go 2 miles over this way. You have to go down in the valley. Got to go over the ferry, up the other side. Yeah, it's going to take us out of the way. But if we, it may take us 5 hours longer to do that. But if I bring it to the group, it's going to take us 10 hours to make a decision on what to do, and it's going to probably be that anyway. So then we just, we lost an extra 10 hours, and we were going to lose 5 hours anyway. So we can either lose 15 hours or we can lose 5 hours and just get over it. I'll just move forward because it's kind of like I know where this has to go. I know that that's another way we can do that. The bridge is out. Can't fix the bridge. The bridge is out. That's it. So I feel like you're going to know what to do with it. Kind of like, yeah, we still have to get over there. So this is another way to do it. Let's just do it and move on, because you're going to be like, yeah, we got to get there on time. Because especially with Capricorn energy, I know you guys are not a fan of like quick moving, flash decisions. I know you're not a fan of that. But I also feel with Capricorn, like I have a schedule to meet and I need to do what I can to stay on schedule best I can. So since the bridge is out, that's clearly not going to happen. If I just make this decision, we go this way, it's 5 hours out of the way, but we're closer to being on schedule than if we take 15 hours out of our way. If we take 10 hours just to mull it over and go blah, 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 and then finally going into the 5-hour trip, now if you think of like a working day, if you take 15 hours to get through this, that's a day, you just lost a day. If it's 5 hours, that's maybe half a day. So it's better to be behind a half a day than a whole day. I think I said that right. So I'm getting like, yeah, just make the decision. You know what you need to do. What needs to happen. When in retrospect, I feel like it'll make more sense. I feel like, that'll work out the way it's going to work out, whatever that means. But I also feel like stability comes in. You are aiding stability. I feel like there's definitely an era of like you making sound decisions. People know you make decisions that actually achieve goals. They may not like your decisions. They may have an issue at the end with like you making a decision that they didn't get to have their 2 cents in. But I also feel like there's going to be counter energy saying, yeah, but we wouldn't have been done with it when we were done with it. Because I feel like there's a series of these decisions, kind of like, I don't think it's just going to be one thing where it's kind of like we could either lose half a day or a whole day. If it happens 5 times, like if you think of a working week, if you lose 5 days, that's a whole week you lost. Versus like if you lose half of that, if you lose like 2.5 days, it just makes sense to like for you to move forward and for you to just do what you need to do. I just don't think you're going to come up with I don't think a better option will come forward if you bring it to the group. I also feel like you're definitely dealing with people in the political arena. Maybe this isn't politics, but there's always those people. I don't know how this is going to sound, but if I sound like a jerk, then I sound like a jerk. They just want their name in the pot. They just want to make sure that their name was heard and that they were seen as a decision maker. They just want to have their name connected to the success. Doesn't mean they actually created the success, but they want credit for the success. So how do I explain this? When people they talk something out, they didn't really help it move forward, but their name shows up so many times that they kind of claim credit, kind of like, I helped make that decision. Whether they actually did or not, because their name shows up so many times. Yep, I helped people work that out. You see how I'm involved? That drives me mad. I don't know, it's one of my peeves when somebody just gets their 2 cents in there, they just flap their jaw just so they can say they were a part of the solution. When in truth, they just were there. And sure, they contributed to the conversation, but they probably didn't really add to it. Especially when you have the parrot people, who they just keep reiterating other people's good ideas. I don't even want to get into that one. That drives me mad too. Kind of like, I just feel like maybe I'm just that person that notices it, where people do that, and you have people in that group where they'll just reiterate other people's good ideas, and then they'll act like they were these big problem solvers, and I'm like, no, you weren't. You were just a parrot in the whole situation, but okay, other people see you that way. It's just one of my peeves in life, because I'm kind of like, you're not effective, you're just a parrot person. I hate parrot people. It drives me nuts, drives me mad. But anyway, that I think you're dealing with some parrot people. That's basically what I'm saying. And like, we don't have time for parrot people. Let's just make the decision to move on. And yeah, at the end, they'll squawk about, how if they had been given the opportunity to add their 2 cents, there might have been a better solution, which is probably not true, but they'll play it off like it was. going down that whole road. I think we're going to let it go because I'm getting into the land of peeves. Let's not even go there. All right, so we're going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Make your decisions. You're good at it. You know what you're doing. Keep going with that. All right, so let's shut this down. If you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below as well. Same email. And thank you for watching. You have a good day.